Hey guys, welcome back. So in the last video, we started looking at the structure of an HTML document, and we mentioned that the structure of an HTML document is probably the most important thing to remember whenever you are working with HTML. Um, it is the structure that determines what the user sees on the browser, and also how the browser presents this content. So we mentioned that there is a root element, which is the HTML element. And then inside the HTML element, we basically have two elements, the head and the body. And the head contains title and some other metadata or meta tags. And then the body contains the main content of the page that the user actually sees, like the headings, the different text elements, the forms, the sliders and all those. So I mean, this is what you need to keep in mind when we talk about the structure of an HTML element. Just think of it in terms of head and body. Now, as for the specific elements that go into the head and the body, we're going to look at that in much more detail shortly. It's also important to remember that inside the head element, there are specific elements that belong to the head, like the title. And then there are specific elements that belong to the body, like the headers, the paragraphs, the images, the links. And I mean, you can't just put any element in either the head or the body. The head specific element must stay in the head, and then the body specific elements need to stay in the body. So that's very, very important. Now, this is like a diagram, this is like a representation. Now, this is what it looks like in an actual code, right? So on the right, we have what it looks like in code. So it's pretty much like your HTML file, right? This is what it looks like. We're going to see that we're going to actually write this code, view it in a browser, and actually make our first web page. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so we have this doc type tag, and then we have the HTML. So this is how you would present an HTML document. So you have this is what we call tag. So we have the HTML enclosed in two angular brackets. Now this is the opening tag of the HTML element, and then down at the bottom you have the closing tag. Now if you look at this and this closely, you will notice a difference. Now the difference is that for the closing tag starts with a forward slash, and then you go ahead and put the tag name, which is HTML, and then so you have a opening tag and a closing tag, and in between those you have the two major elements that you find within the HTML element, and that is the head and the body. Now remember that the head has an opening tag and it has a closing tag, and then within those you have the title. The title itself has an opening tag and a closing tag, and then you have the content, which is basically the title of the page. We're going to see how this gets to show up in the browser. And then you go to the body, you have the opening body tag, and then you have the closing body tag. And within the opening and closing tag, you have everything that goes into the body. Now this is everything you see on the web page. So everything you see on the web page exists between the opening body tag and the closing body tag. That's the main body of your browser. I'll demonstrate that shortly with with a web page in a browser. So this is H2. Don't worry about all of what this means and what H2 and P means. We're going to get into all that. What I want you to pay attention to right now is the structure, right? So you have HTML opening, HTML closing. Between that, you have head opening, head closing, body opening, body closing. And within those, you have other specific elements. So this is what is important to remember at this time. Yeah, I mean, we're going to take a closer look at this, and then hopefully it will make more sense. So let's stop this video here, and I'll see you in the next video.